Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Leadership in Your Impact speaking event. We're so happy to have so many wonderful and powerful speakers with us today. My name's Enolia, and I'd like to introduce my partner, Christina Konya. Christina.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are really excited to have you here.
So we would love for you to sit back and relax and be ready to listen to some powerful, powerful topics today. We are so happy to be able to provide this platform with everyone, to give them a chance and an opportunity to speak and to share and let you know what contributions that they are making so that it can inspire, motivate, and overall make you just understand that there are some powerful things being done here in the world. And maybe our story or the story that you hear, that you share, will impact somebody's life in a positive way. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Christina.
Before we kick off really this conference, I would love to again welcome all of you. And I would love to introduce this beautiful woman here who just made a beautiful introduction for all of you to know who she is, what she's doing. So please allow me to introduce Enolia Foti. Enolia is an award-winning international speaker. She is a global influencer, social entrepreneur. She is a conscious transformational coach and an amazing author. She is a natural orator. Enolia harmonizes corporate experience with a broad knowledge base that includes many traditions from around the world. To motivate and inspire others to reach their goals, she shares the ancient wisdom she gained under the tutelage of indigenous elders. She imparts her gifts to inspire and empower the soul by sharing her cumulative knowledge of ancient practices and teachings up through the present day. Enolia walks her path as a teacher, counselor, and healer from the lessons of elders. Enolia is a grandmother elder and a modern day medicine woman. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Enolia Foti.
Thank you so much. And I am so excited to be kicking this event off. And so one of the things that I want to share with you is that many of us are going through so much out there in the world. And as I was even engaging with one of our speakers earlier, we were discussing the fact that how do you see the world? How is it that my impact can really, really make a difference? And one of the things that we need to understand is that we and what we have to say and where we stand in our truth is powerful. To share is to educate. To educate is to inspire. To inspire is to motivate. And to motivate causes a ripple effect. Each thing that you possess as a skill, whether it's speaking, whether it's art, whether it's technical, or whether it's something small, just in the way that you cook, the way that you prepare, the way that you approach, the way that you think is a gift to humanity. When we share these gifts, when we share what we are educated in, what our skills bring to bear, we are contributing to humanity. It is imperative that we, at times, slow our lives down. Don't allow ourselves to be interrupt-driven and focus on what we are going to contribute, how we choose to contribute, and what that contribution looks like. Our world would have us speeding through, multitasking, thinking that there's not enough time for ourselves, let alone for the things that we want to do. This interrupt-driven pace does not serve us. As a person who has an IT background, humans do not multitask. I'm going to repeat that again. Humans do not multitask. What we do is we allow interruptions constantly within our focus. So much so that the media has decided that we cannot even hold a focus for more than 30 seconds. That we cannot engage in anything for more than a minute. This needs to stop. We need to take pause, whether it's turning the phone off for a period of time, whether it is the decision to just basically not allow ourselves on social media but once or twice a day. But the things that interrupt our train of thought, the things that interrupt our focus so that we can accomplish what we choose to accomplish, so that we can learn the way that we need to learn, so that we can share the stories that are imperative for people to hear so that they can gather and learn from those stories is imperative. So why is it the industry and all around us is telling us that we are not capable of learning or holding an attention span of more than 30 seconds? What we need to realize is that this statement in and of itself is sabotaging. It in and of itself is saying, we won't give you more than 30 seconds so that you will adjust to the way that information is received in short spurts so that you will lose your focus. Anything that you do has to be exercised. Focus has to be exercised. Meditation has to be exercised. Work and skill sets need to be exercised. And in order to get good at it and to be laser focused and to be able to truly accomplish something, deciding that no interruption is going to interfere with the goal or the vision that you are embarking on is imperative. So I subscribe to you. Bring back in your focus. Define what's important to you. Go after it and give it all of your attention. Turn the things off that would have you interrupt driven, that interrupt that thought process so that you can fully engage and fully captivate with clarity what it is that you're trying to achieve, what your vision holds, and what your goals are in order to go after them. And as you do that, you will find that the thoughts, the process by which you're really working at will become clearer and more articulate every step that you take and everything that you give into it. These things are so important. This lays the foundation of who we are and how we approach the world. This allows us to educate others. This gives us clarity and line of sight of a thought that comes within us, and then we gestate it, allowing it to fully grow, and then share it. When's the last time you sat down and gave that time to yourself? So I say this with the conviction that we have some wonderful speakers today, and they need your attention, and that what they have to say is powerful. And I'm excited to be a part of this platform and sharing the platform with these powerful speakers. So, without further ado, let's engage our first speaker, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Enolia. That was wonderful. Our wonderful speakers. Enolia's message, just in a nutshell, really, really quickly, it was share your gift, share your thoughts, share your leadership, because your story matters, your voice matters, and your stories need to be heard, right? Because you can teach others and be laser focused, as Enolia said. Pass through the human conditioning, okay? And just really, really share your story, share your leadership, because you can change people's life. And if you already changed one person's point of view, one person's life, it's already worth it. So thank you, Enolia.
Thank you, Christina. I'd like to call to the platform Maggie Englander. Maggie is a neuro-linguistic programming, breakthrough health strategist, and burnout consultant, as well as a happiness coach, a well-being mentor, an international speaker, and the founder of Rewiring Yourself. Maggie specializes in setting up personalized health strategies to avoid burnout, reversing medical conditions that have roots in emotional traumas, stress, addictions, and reversing mental ill health. Maggie has a solid academic background with 2 degrees in social care, educational management, and counseling. She is currently undertaking the Neuro-Linguistic Master Practitioner Coaching and Hypnotherapist qualification. Maggie believes that the best answers to solve our problems lie within us. We can all live the life we desire based on how physically, spiritually, emotionally resilient, intuitive, and mindful we become. The best answers for our lives lie within alignment between our values, our unconscious and conscious mind, and internal happiness. The best pharmacy is within our own body. Maggie's presentation, The World's Best Medicine. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. What would your heart say if it could speak? Hypertension is the leading preventable risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Stats are shocking. About 1 in 3 US adults with high blood pressure aren't even aware that they have it and are not being treated to control it. Similarly, in the UK, there's more than 7 million of us unaware of having high blood pressure, at risk of having a stroke or heart attack at any time because of that. High blood pressure affects an estimated 1.3 billion worldwide, killing approximately 10 million people every year. These conditions affect everyone, no matter where you live and who you are. So if I ask your heart how they feel, I'm sure that some of them wouldn't be that happy, right? Pandemic of stress is everywhere. Tension, comparison, on and off media, pressures are enormous to us. A day is too short for countless things we aspire to do in. Our bodies and minds feel as if they were constantly on a highway. No wonder exhaustion and burnout is so familiar to us leaders. Consequently, we are tired to even look properly after ourselves. As is it not the case that when anxiety takes over, we are too tired to do anything else? We are lacking energy. We're feeling drained without even doing much. we can't sleep, we sit most of the time, and consequently, we put on weight. Our movements become much slower. Our cognitive abilities aren't that sharp anymore. We are not as productive as we know we could have been otherwise. We are finding ourselves irritable for no reasons. And what was a norm to us before becomes a challenge. But as we believe we are strong and we can handle anything, we push through no matter what. And we believe that we invested too much effort, too much time and money in our businesses, in our careers, to let it go. Too many people rely on us. We keep thinking in our minds. There is too much to do. And our ambitions take over a logical part of our minds. And then we really struggle to rest mindfully. Consequently, we develop addictions to coffee and other substances to stay alert. So many of us start smoking, drinking alcohol excessively, and even starting gambling. We lessen the level of exercises as we're already too tired. Even thinking about physical activities makes us tired. Emotional distress we suppress or just ignore it as we believe there's no time or no place to go for a therapy or a mindset training. We start developing insomnia and we can't even remember when was the last time that we slept throughout the whole night without waking up several times. We start putting on weight and consequently in no time, our BMI, fat mass, fat percent, and all our body composition goes out of the window. On top of it, the stories we tell ourselves daily directly influences our bodies. I'm too tired to exercise. We're already making this statement, so of course we believe in it. I'm too busy. Well, if we believe in it, then this is actually what's happening. I'm not patient enough to cook from scratch. Well, if we say so, why would we believe and act differently? I don't have time to sleep for longer than 4, 5, 6 hours. May also sound familiar to you. But to many of us, these disempowering statements and permissions we make every single day weaken us even more. Consequently, all the stress we live in gets hardly wired in each cell of our bodies. Our bodies hold onto emotional, mental, and physical stress we live in and responding back by manifesting the unhappiness by giving us first cardiovascular medical conditions. High cholesterol, high blood pressure, prediabetes, diabetes, heart problems are only few out of many. But what do we do next? We start taking medications that suppress illness rather than cure us. So often, we also develop mental dependency on them. We even start suffering from these side effects that often brings another and another and another medical condition on top of what we already have. And fearing potential consequences of coming off medication, we tend to stay on them for ages, sponsoring pharmacological industries. Did you know that over 80% of the global population above the age of 60 takes medication daily? And it's about 50% of those between the age of 18 to 59 as well. Well, of course, medical pharmacological industries love it. In just 2022, almost 5 billion prescriptions were handed to patients worldwide. Yeah, you heard me right, 5 billion prescriptions. Even sadder, the facts are that approximately 95% of worldwide illnesses are based on the unhealthy lifestyle we choose for ourselves. Depression is on the rise. Depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide, and anxiety has never been as high as now. But hey, does it need to be this way? Does it all need to be that grim? Is it not the case that our bodies are the only place we live in all our life? And there's no better project than ourselves in our lives. So what if instead of medication, we give ourselves a happiness injection? What if we start believing that the best pharmacy is within our own bodies? What if we start prioritizing health over anything else? What would happen then? Well, much less admissions to psychiatric hospitals will be taking place. Much less antidepressants will be handed over. And no cardiovascular disease will be so frequently killing us as it's happening sadly every day now. How different our lives and world would become, right? If we are all filled with happiness, internal harmony, and are of the best health we can only have. Well, as a health and strategist and burnout consultant, I've been working with professional and business owners for many years, studying, observing, monitoring, tracking progress, researching what's available on the market and what's not, helped me to open Rewiring Yourself. And I'm specializing in designing holistic, personalized wellness programs, especially for those ones in high stress jobs and anxious leaders. I combine a variety of psychological and submodalities like CBT, NLP, and counseling with healthy lifestyle medicine coaching and elements of hypnosis, all wrapped up with positive psychology and self-compassion therapy as a happiness coach as well. So I would like to invite you to a new chapter of your life, because it all depends whether you want to enter a new chapter or not, but I would strongly advise you to do. Be like your liver, work without excuses. Be like your heart, love unconditionally. Be like your mind, learn how to generate happy thoughts. And be like your body. Whenever you are feeling lonely, know that for all those million cells in your body, you are always number one. So remember, my friends, that you can be the best friend of your body. So it will always serve you well. Your own body can be the best pharmacy you will ever need if you learn how to treasure it and how to utilize your natural gifts. Subconscious mind registers everything, or gets deeply wired into your particular cells, so there is no strong willpower in order to overcome it. You never outsmart your own body. Suppressing emotions is not also an option. Though you may think that you move on physically, but the emotional pain and trauma stay in you. Self-discipline and internal harmony are crucial as well. And be happy by choice and not by chance. As the happier you are, the healthier automatically you become too. So one of my favorite quotes is, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader, which I've been strongly standing by all my life. Overcoming years of smoking, countless years of insomnia, depression and anxiety, severe burnout and ill childhood, whilst pulling everyone up. Till now, I've got over 2,000 clients. So summarizing today's speech, let me remind you of what Tony Robbins said. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. I absolutely loved your speech. I really loved the way how you started your speech asking, what would your heart say if you could speak? And this technically summarizes everything. Yes, we cause ourselves illnesses, we cause ourselves addictions, right? Because we are living too much in our mind. So your message is like, just go in your heart, live from your heart, in your heart, and share that. So thank you very much, Maggie. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. I would like to now introduce Nida Syed. Nida Syed is a great example of a woman leader, as she believes in her purpose in life is to help people. She is a strong believer of anything can be achieved as long as someone is willing to put in the work and effort. She combines psychology with holistic approaches as they go hand in hand. That's why in her practice, she makes sure that she is not only listening to the client, but building an authentic relationship with each client as she adapts to their needs as well. She uses her background in the medical field, mental health, and spirituality to help clients. Nida feels most fulfilled when she helps people find their inner light again after going through a transformation. She feels honored to contribute to others, people's growth, supporting them in their mental health and guiding them on their journey of accepting themselves. Nida's presentation, united community, be authentic and own your power. Welcome, Nida.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. So today I'm going to talk about authentic. The reason is I believe we all have our own pure essence. We all have our own authenticity, and it's so important to just own it and be honest about it, be genuine about it. It means living according to our own value, beliefs, and principles, then just adjusting yourself for the sake of other people around you, for the sake of society. Authenticity, it means being comfortable in your own skin. When you're not authentic, you're just a copy of any other human being. You're just identifying yourself as other people around you. You're just just adjusting to the society. You stay away from being vulnerable, especially you start suppressing your emotions. Now remember, emotions make us who we are. With the help of our emotions, we know what we feel, we can communicate, we can be clear about ourselves. But once we start suppressing our emotions simply because there is this fear of that the world will deny us, reject us, disapprove us, or even maybe disown us, we start imprinting in our subconscious mind that suppressing what we are feeling, what we want is normal. And the moment we start doing that, we start limiting ourselves. We start limiting our capabilities. And on long term, slowly your true self starts fading away because you have completely blocked it out. Being inauthentic will cost you. And that's something that people do not understand, especially nowadays. Everybody is very much concerned and focused on what would people think, or I want to be a part of this society, of this culture. What people don't understand, the more you're adapting and just trying to be someone you're actually not, the more you're actually fading away your true essence. You're fading away who you actually are. So it is very important to start practicing to be authentic. Now, being authentic requires a lot of practice. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You will have to practice, practice, practice. And from today, after this presentation, I truly hope that you start practicing and be more authentic. Now, there are a couple of tips that I'm going to share today with all of you. First of all, know yourself. The first step is self awareness. You have to understand yourself. You have to stand up for what makes you happy. What are your beliefs? What are your priorities? So, know yourself is the very first step. Second, embrace your imperfections. It's okay to make mistake. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to have weakness. Embrace them. Those imperfections are what make you who you are. Embrace it. Third, be honest. It's very important to be honest with yourself and with others about your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Don't be afraid to express your opinions or to stand up for what you believe in, even if it feels uncomfortable. 4, acknowledge what you feel in the inside. You don't need to react immediately. So you don't need to show other people that something is making you feel triggered. You don't need to do that, but do accept, do acknowledge that it's making you uneasy, it's triggering you, it's making you unhappy. It is very important. 5, willingness to be uncomfortable. Remember, the more uncomfortable you are, the more you're learning, the more you're developing, the more you will shine. Uncomfortable is the very first thing that you have to be prepared for. People might judge you, but you know what? Own it. 6, become aware of your thoughts and beliefs. Remember, thoughts are just thoughts. They come and go. Sometimes they're coming from certain beliefs, which might redirect you to your true self, to your essence, or it can lead you to what is holding you back from becoming your true self. So always pay attention to your thoughts. And last, practice objective viewing. Try to observe the situation as a third person. If you can't just think about it, just close your eyes and then visualize the situation. Visualize yourself coming out of your body and seeing the situation as a third person. And now observe, analyze, and you will become more honest. You will be able to see what's happening, and you will be able, with this practice, to connect more with yourself. So I hope you start practicing these 7 steps, 7 tips that I have taught you today. I hope they're helpful, and I truly hope for you that you become who you actually are. Own yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nida. Wow, wow, what a powerful message you shared with us today. It's absolutely, it's amazing. You said that be authentic and own your power, and you spread it in the world. That's really, really powerful. Self-awareness is number one. And you know that I'm all about self-awareness. Thank you for sharing that. Embrace your imperfection. This is again very, very important because everybody's trying to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
And being honest with ourselves. So thank you, Nida, for sharing your message, sharing your leadership. We appreciate you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Wonderful message, Nida. So I would like to introduce Lela Greenough. Lela is the owner and founder of Virtual Healing with Lela. Lela helps individuals through wellness analysis and application without furthering dis-ease through conscious awareness. Lela is a Reiki master and trained in various healing techniques. Lela delivers long-distance Reiki to her clients all over the world. She also brings in-depth knowledge of herbs to complement and heal the physical body. Lela helps individuals integrate emotional and physical shifts through her knowledge of food. Her mantra is, "Let food be thy medicine," as stated by Hippocrates. Lela's presentation today, self-care in today's crazy world. Lela, we welcome you to the stage.
Thank you, Enolia. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, this is a great opportunity. So I thank you guys for putting this together. We have a problem with not being able to tell people no. It's okay to say no, and no is a complete sentence. We forgot that. We run around thinking that we need to take care of everyone and we should just let ourselves kind of fade away, and that's not how it should be. You have to take care of you first. Otherwise, you can't take care of anybody else. You can't help them because you're down flat on your back and there isn't anybody there to help you out. So when you have those moments where you're really tired and you just don't have it in you, and someone comes and says, oh, could you do this? It's okay to say no. No, I can't do that right now. I have to care for me. I need to do some self-care, and it's okay. Get out in nature. Trees, they clean our air. They help us to breathe. They take what we breathe out and they breathe it in. So when you go out into nature, take time, sit by a tree, put your back up against that tree, and just say, please take this thing that has been bothering me for so long. Please take it, let it go down into your roots. Let it go down into the earth where it's cleansed. Mother Earth takes that. She cleanses it, she transmutes it and transcends it. She sends it back up to be reused for somebody else in a good way. Some people think that when they get rid of this energies that no longer serve them, it's like, well, where's it going? Who's getting it? Am I hurting someone else? No. All of this energy, it all gets cleaned up, scrubbed up, and it's always reused. Nothing ever is wasted there. Nothing. Nature is your best friend. It brings happiness. You get to see the birds, you get to hear them, the things growing out in the woods. It's a wonderful place to go when you're having one of them days where you just need time to yourself. Nature does not judge, ever. It's always there for whatever it is that you want or need. We are humans doing. We're not supposed to be sedentary. We need to get up and move. And that in itself is helpful. Whether it's going for a walk, it's maybe a little jog, ride a bike, swimming, all of these things, this movement for the body, it helps to get that energy moving. It brings in good energy, especially if you're in the water. Water's the best. You can let things go in the water and the water takes it and cleans it up for you. It's very, very good. Here's a good one, and I'm guilty of this one. Buying a book, and I'm gonna read that book. I buy the book, I bring it home, and I stick it on the shelf. Now's the time to take that book, dust off the dust that's on it, get yourself a cup of tea, find a comfortable spot, and take an hour. Take an hour for you and read some of your book. Where are you going to go with that book? Is it going to take you on an adventure? You're going to learn something new? But take that time for you, because you are important and you matter. Make yourself a priority. Women especially have a problem with this. Women that are married, women that have kids, it's always about, I have to do this for my husband, I have to do this for my kids, I have to do dinner, I have to do laundry, No. If you're not on top of your game, you're not helpful. Take time for you, because you are important. When you start taking time for you and doing the things that you enjoy, even if it's 15 minutes extra in bed in the morning before you get up, an extra 10 minutes in your shower, that's important. That helps you to de-stress, let go of stuff. Even if it's something, if you're meditating in the shower, it's your time to do what you need to do for you. And it's okay to do that. We forget it's okay that we do that. Know that you matter. And take that time to do those little self-care things. And as soon as you start doing these little tiny things, you're going to say, oh boy, that really felt good. I think I'm going to take a little bit more time tomorrow. And before you know it, you have an hour or two that's out in your schedule for the week, where it's 1 or 2 hours just for you, for your time to do what you enjoy. So I have found for me that taking extra time to do what I want to do for me really does help. It's hard to do healing work for people that are sad or sick, and you get all up and absorbed in that, and you forget, oh, well, what about me? So I take that time. I will tell people, oh, I'm sorry, but I can't help you right now. Call me later and we'll get together. But right now I'm taking time for me because I am important. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to do that for yourself. So I hope that more people in the world will do that. I think it will end up to be a happier place when we do. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Lela. I absolutely love the presentation. I love the title, Self-Care in Today's Crazy World, and it really, really resonates with me. And I completely, totally agree with you. No is a full sentence. No is a full sentence because we need to take care of ourselves first, because then we can and we are able to take care of others. And the other piece of this, you were talking about nature. Yes, nature heals. So go out in the nature, especially, we are all coaches, mentors. We work a lot at home. We sit a lot, right? We are very homies, right? And I appreciate you saying that, yes, we need to go out in the nature. We have to move our bodies, move the energies. So thank you very much for sharing your message, Lela. It was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much, Lela. I'll definitely take that as a reminder for myself personally. Absolutely. I'd like to introduce Antonio de Sousa. Antonio is a plasterer by trade who seemingly without any effort offers this very powerful message. If this relatively ordinary young man can do this life thing, making something of himself and turning his life around, then why can't you? Antonio professes that life has not been easy. He certainly has had his own challenges, as many of us do, but he has tackled them head on, embraced his darkness and shed onto it light. To Antonio's amazement, one at which he still pinches himself to this very day, surprised at any given moment that he is reminded that he has written and published a book, The Lockdown on Self-Love. Antonio inspires to be a symbol of faith to anyone that feels like they're merely existing and can't find any meaning or point into life. Don't take your life for granted, and neither let any of it be in vain. Antonio's presentation to us today, How Personal Development Saved My Life. Welcome, Antonio.
Thank you very much, Enolia, for the description. Yeah, I would like to emphasize on that. So, yeah, my name is Antonio. I'm 37 years old. I was born in South Africa. I was there till the age of 7 before me and my family moved back to Madeira, our native country. That's in a little island besides Portugal. We were there for like 6-7 years before moving here to the UK. And I've since been here for like about 25 years. I'm a plasterer by trade. And I'm also a single father to 2 children. Interesting fact about me, I've only ever been in 2 serious long-term relationships. I've done really bad at school, just obviously just trying to be the class clown, trying to fit in, trying to make friends because I moved around a lot. I ended up doing really bad at college. And before you know it, like I very much had a victim mentality. My belief about myself was that I was a loser, that I was a nobody. You know, I just felt like my cards had already been dealt, and that was my fate. You know, I was just going, you know, for a very long time since college, I was just going from job to job. I've worked as a fishmonger. I've worked as in a sausage factory. I've been from a warehouse to warehouse, and that really just brought me down about myself. You know, like my parents were devastated as it was because, you know, I didn't listen. I knew better, you know, and I got involved with the wrong crowd and so on and so forth. And before you know it, I fell in love, and she wasn't. You might say, lucky, wasn't particularly healthy. You know, we ended up having a child together, and yeah, you know what ended up leading from that, from obviously me having toxic attributes and herself as well, was us breaking up. But when I left her, I had no idea that I was actually leaving my son as well. And you know, she ended up she ended up getting involved with another fella, and before you know, like, you know, matters of the heart ain't easy, you know. And especially then having a child that was kind of used against me to hurt my own feelings, you know, and kind of put me in line, so, you know. Yeah, had its consequences, and one of that was to form a drug habit. You know, I came across Class A, and yeah, for 10 years I was using drugs for, you know, every opportunity that I got. You know, if I could have got away with it, I would have done it every day. Look, cut a long story short, in 2020, you know, we all had an opportunity to pause from life. And I was really blessed for with this opportunity. You know, I mean, for one, I started to question myself, why did I go through another breakup? You know, why is she avoiding me? How come we were best friends? How come we were, you know, I loved her so much. I thought she loved me. How could we hurt each other? How could a kid also be used as a weapon against me? And how come I'm arguing with my parents? How come I got a problem? You know, what's going on? And I took this opportunity to self-inquire, and I ended up writing the book, The Lockdown on Self-Love, How to Make Suffering Work for You. Now, with such a title, you might imagine to yourself that, blimey, you've been through some stuff. And yeah, I have, you know, and we all. For me personally, with everything that I mentioned, didn't help. At one point, I even ended up going to prison. But through my self-inquiry, through my desperation to wanting to understand myself, you know, came the realization that I hated myself. And yeah, look, this was an initiation into personal development. Personal development to me before, previous to that, you know, seeing influences, so the likes of Tony Robbins, for example, what have you. You know, to me, you know, you'd see this guy with great intentions, a great attitude, you know, like, you know, look, check me out. If you do what I do and follow my advice, you'll be just as successful and as happy as I am. But my mentality was like, go away. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've been through. You're like, to me, you're just some silver spoon so-and-so. Now, by my analogy, this is what personal development is. One day we're going to take our last breath. And with our last breath, you know, along with our last breath, we're going to die with our dreams, our aspirations, and all our regrets. Now, imagine taking your last breath. You arrive at heaven. And all of a sudden, from the heavens comes God. And God is like, hello, Antonio, for example. I'm like, hello, oh, you know. And he's like, hi, Antonio, I want you to meet someone. He takes you to meet this someone. And this someone is you. And God says to you, this is who I made you to be in my image. This was always who you were supposed to be. Before all the regrets and before the disbelief and before all the excuses and before all the comparing and before, you know, you not giving yourself this chance in life, before you took life for granted. Now imagine like you had to spend eternity with this version of you. You know, we've all been through our own hell, but I imagine that would be hell all the same, to just be with this spitting image of you. That's the more successful version of you, the happier version of you, the healthier version of you, the one that lived a full life. So yeah, this is what personal development offered to me, you know, this new awareness, being conscious, having the realization that I was taking myself for granted, that I saw no self-worth, that I wasn't really taking care of myself, that I validated myself through the eyes of others. The biggest awareness really was that the most important relationship there will ever be and is the one with yourself. And it's interesting considering I've only ever been in 2 serious long-term relationships really, and through all the heartbreak and so on and so forth, that was the awareness that came from it. Because obviously I was going through a lot of heartache, and through that awareness was like, wow, I take myself to bed. How come I don't give myself a kiss? You know, how come I don't say to myself, good night, Antonia, before I go to sleep? How come I'm not waking up in the morning either? You know, imagine, I mean, there's one or two things I want you to imagine here. First of all, is imagine you have children. And if you were to hear your someone, a stranger, speak to your child, the way you speak to yourself, you'd want to give a morale smack. Like, how dare you speak to my child like that? But imagine as well waking up next to your partner every morning, and she doesn't, or he doesn't pay you any mind, doesn't say hello, hello, beautiful, doesn't kiss you. How would you feel? You know, you'd feel like you're not wanted, like you're not valued, like you're not appreciated. So that was my awareness as well. How come I'm not treating myself like that? How come I'm not waking up in the morning, kiss my hand? Hello, beautiful. Have the best day ever, you absolute legend. So yeah, this basically offered me the opportunity, and I highlighted 2020 through desperation, really, from almost taking my life, that I had to do something about it. And it's interesting what I came to find out, though, even though I had children, that wasn't meaning and purpose enough. And that's what we all need for ourselves, our meaning and purpose, our reason for waking up in the morning. It's important. It's important to look after yourself, to respect yourself, to give yourself the things that you desire, that you need, rather than, you know, and that's my whole point, and my understanding so far is, how would you like another to treat you? And are you treating yourself the same? And, you know, it's very much on the same principle. You can't expect anyone else to take care of you, love you, or be your own best friend, or be your friend, and to be authentic with you, to be transparent, to not lie, to not judge you. If you're doing that to yourself, if you're not doing that to yourself. So yeah, just bear in mind that the most important project you will ever work on is yourself. And that the most important relationship you will ever work on is yourself. And, you know, treat yourself like the queen and king that you are, and to give yourself the benefit of the doubt. And also, something else I want to share is that for a long time, I had previous to becoming an author, one of which I would have never in a million years ever thought possible, I'm a plasterer by trade. And I thought to myself, I had already led myself to believe I was going to be a plasterer for the rest of my life. You know, I'm 37 years old, and let's say that I maybe got another 37 years to go. Now, how come I wasn't giving myself opportunity? You know, it was like from being young up until now, like it's had a compound effect of all, you know, my associations, my attention, my beliefs, and so on and so forth. Like everything's had a compound effect to where I am today. So just having more awareness and being laser focused to who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? What's it take to be that version? What does that version of you do? And pretty much just, you know, giving yourself the opportunity for once to just kind of brainstorm what that looks like. And yeah, the importance of not distracting yourself. In a world full of distractions, you can be distracted by a million things. Be distracted by yourself. You know, just sit with yourself and ask you know, the big questions in life. What makes me happy? What would I look like as a successful individual? What would I look like as a healthier individual? And how would I look like as a more fulfilled individual? Ask those questions. And yeah, give yourself every benefit of the doubt. Go for it. That's how I'd like to end it. Thanks for watching.
Antonio de Sousa. You might be plasterer by trade, but I'm telling you right now, you are a great leader, because whatever you share and you speak your truth, you lead by example. And that's the most important thing. You've been through a lot, and when you teach and you inspire others, you don't do that from books. You are not doing that from books, but from experience. And kudos to that. So just be proud of yourself, be proud of where you are right now, and just imagine where you still can be, because the longer you just go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. So thank you for sharing your message. Thank you for the Lockdown and Self-Love book. It's a really powerful book. And yeah, I'm proud of you though.
Oh my gosh, there's so much I would love to say, but thank you for that powerful, powerful message and that powerful story. We see